On this Independence Day, we look back at America's Revolutionary War. It was raging 235 years ago when the Marquis de Lafayette sailed from France aboard the Navy frigate Hermione, with good news for his friend, George Washington.
This morning, a replica of the ship is here in New York, celebrating the independence the original ship helped secure. David Begnaud is here to tell us more. David, good morning.
Vanita, good morning. The British call it Hermione, but the French pronounce it Hermione. So we will go with the French, since they are the ones who made the boat that carried the man who helped to secure American independence. Fireworks announced the arrival of the French frigate Hermione into New York Harbor this week, just in time for the 4th of July. It was a stop that was 17 years in the making. So they may not be saints marching in, but to the red, white, and blue, these sailors are modern-day ambassadors for a historical hero. Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Roche Gilbert de Montier de Lafayette, the Frenchman credited with helping to secure American independence.
Welcome, Hermione, to New York.
Miles Young is president of the Friends of Hermione Lafayette in America. What does Marquis de Lafayette mean to American history?
He was the French founding father, and I hope he won't ever be forgotten for that.
The New York Historical Society Museum and Library is remembering Lafayette's legacy in a new exhibition. Lafayette was 19 years old when he first sailed to America to join General George Washington's army. A year later, he returned to France, lobbying the king to send French forces. He won the king's favor, and in 1780, at the age of 22, Lafayette sailed back to America, this time aboard Hermione. There's a story that the 19-year-old Lafayette docked in Boston, took a horse to New Jersey, and told George Washington, the French are here to help you, and Washington shed a tear.
That's true, that's true. It's that message which is the turning point in the whole war, because it gave Washington the assurance that help was coming, and then the help came, and the rest is history.
The original Hermione was part of the blockade at the Battle of the Virginia Capes that led to the British surrender, ending the American Revolution. Craig Stapleton is a former U.S. ambassador to France.
It's one of the most exciting stories in world history. I hope school kids in America know the story of Lafayette, because it's inspirational. We have all these athletes and movie stars who are heroes. This guy was a real hero. He did it all by himself.
You're getting emotional. Does it make you emotional?
No, it does.
Why?
It's a great story. Because it's I'd like my kids to be like Lafayette.
To celebrate Lafayette, a group of Frenchmen in the early 90s envisioned building a replica of Hermione, but the drawings were lost, so the French had to rely on the British. Inside the British Admiralty Archive were the exact drawings of Hermione's sister ship, the Concorde. After 17 years of work and more than $20 million raised, Hermione set sail for America on what the French president called a historic journey of friendship. It arrived in Yorktown, Virginia in June and has been traveling up the eastern seaboard to historic cities like Baltimore and Philadelphia. From New York, it will head to New England, on its way to Canada, and then back to France. Why do this?
Why not? You know, that's the motto of Lafayette. Why not? Why not build a ship that's an exact replica of an 18th century frigate? Why not sell it to America? I think in life we have to ask that question and do things which seem crazy and impossible. Otherwise there's something missing in the human spirit.
How much does this ship mirror the original?
It's almost exact. I mean, there are some requirements of Coast Guards. You have to have an engine, and she came in here with an engine. You have to have modern latrines, for instance, but you can more or less stop there. Everything else is authentic, from the ropes. You can smell the tar, that's because the ropes are tarred. The ropes, the sails, the oaks, thousands of French oaks. In order to get those French oaks, you have to find oak trees that are bent so they can form a hull like that.
One other thing different about this ship? Women. What's your role?
Chief mate.
Chief mate.
Which is second in command.
Charlene Jiquel leads a crew of 74, a third of whom are women. Aside from the wind, it is French pride powering this frigate, a ship celebrated in the 18th century for its firepower and maneuverability. 22-year-old Adam Hodges Leclerc is one of 3 Americans on board.
You're looking at the equivalent of a modern destroyer, for instance, top of the line.
Lafayette said of Hermione, she sails like a bird. And as such, she will sail past the Statue of Liberty before leaving New York. Lady Liberty was France's second gift to America. Hermione and Lafayette were the first. There are monuments, parks, schools, and cities named for Lafayette, including, full disclosure here, my hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Now we know why you did
That
this.
was the immature. Yes.
I don't care how much it cost. I don't care whether you call it Hermione or Hermione. I love that they did this. I love it. It is a beautiful ship.
Spectacular.
When Lafayette went back to France, though, was he celebrated as a hero?
No. In fact, they wanted to chop off his head. He narrowly escaped the guillotine and ended up going into exile. Finally, when he came back, he was celebrated, became a politician, and before he died, he came back to America. And apparently people lined the streets of New York City and welcomed him like a rock star.
And so on the 4th of July, what will this ship be doing?
It will sail in New York Harbor past the Statue of Liberty, a parade of boats, a final celebration before it leaves New York.
Very
Great
exciting.
piece.
David, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.